Hey, social media family. Welcome to part one of Softening the Hearts of YNs. In the first video that we dropped, that was an introduction, just letting you know what we're going to be talking about. In that first introduction, I did give you some of my experience, some of my background. In part one, we're just getting a little bit more into how to soften the hearts of the YNs. I got my handy dandy notebook here. Love. First of all, we need to learn about what love is before we can display that. For some people like myself, it's probably already within you, and then some people actually have to do their extended research on what love is. When I am asked, or sometimes just freely give my opinion about how somebody can find love or what that looks like, I'm always going to tell you to go into your King James Holy Version Bible, into Galatians chapter 5. In there, it talks about the fruit of the flesh versus the fruit of the spirit. The fruit of the spirit is love, and it gives you the rundown on what love looks like. Love looks like joy, it looks like peace, it looks like understanding, long suffering, endurance, meekness, gentleness. And then I always encourage you to do your extended research. If you don't get that, Google what that looks like, watch a video what that looks like, begin to pray about what that looks like. I know that sounds cliche, but that's how somebody's going to actually be taught love. Like, love is an expression. It should have been given, the compliments, the hugging, the kissing, all of the things that a lot of us lacked. That is love. Love goes so far. Like, love is just not a word, it's a behavior, it's an expression. Love is what's missing in the YNs in general. The number one thing that I seen dating YNs is depression, just period. A lot of them know how to cover up the depression, but you can see it in the eye contact. Like, if you look at somebody's social media, sometimes you can see it off the default picture. And the way that you talk to a YN, you can't be telling them to put the guns down. You can't be telling them to not do this and not do that. Because first of all, you have to remember that you're speaking to another adult. If that young man is not a child. When we talk about having children, and the parents always be like, oh, well, there's no book. But there is a book. The book is the Bible. If you did not have that wisdom, that is fine. But for the Christians, there's no reason for the Christians. Because we always hear Christians, we ain't had no, there was no book about how to, there is a book. You can go to Jeremiah, you can go to Proverbs, you can go to Psalms, you can go to Ezekiel. Those are the books. I have books right now. What to expect, when expecting. Again, I can understand somebody have multiple children and not having time to even look into those things. That's all fine and understandable. When we be talking about parents, we're not trying to make them sound like bad people. They have done bad things. We're just trying to express the fact that we're aware that there is no love. And there's a lot of beef behind just saying that. Because the parent, well, didn't I take care of you? You always had a roof over your head when you are eating and stuff. Like, that's that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I think we be getting it mixed up. You're supposed to, when you have a child, there's things that you're supposed to do. Like, you want your child to have a roof over their head. I'm gonna get into that another day. I didn't even prepare to talk about that because that's just one of the biggest things that be throwing me off. That's a whole nother topic for another day. I haven't even thought about that. So let's just focus on this. But stop playing on our face with the whole did not take care of you thing. You took care, but you did not love with that care. And we're aware of that. Like, we have dated people that probably loved us way more than our parents have. And we're aware of that. Love is what's missing from the YNs, period. That understanding, respect. When you're older than somebody, you always feel like automatically, well, I'm older than you, I'm grown, you young, you don't know nothing. Treating a young man like he's ignorant. I already talked about my experiences dating the YNs. The one thing I know about guns and YNs, first of all, a lot of them be having a lot of beef. The beef be coming from money problems, The beef be coming from them probably seeing a burden in the household, maybe a struggling mother, and they tried to go out there and do something and got into some trouble because they did not have that. And we always talk about a father figure. What about the mother figure that was present? We don't even know what a father figure is because he was not there. So for a minute, we have to pause on that. And again, it's no competition thing, but we just see and we just look at what's in front of us. We can't talk about a behavior that we don't even know what's supposed to look like. We talk about the people that we were living under. We seen the mom bringing in multiple men and fighting in her and beating on her. That could be a reason why this young man has a gun. Come on, Jesus. Let's talk about the reasons why this young man might have a weapon. First of all, it's not illegal to have a weapon if it's not illegal. Or if you don't have certain things on your name like felonies. We're working on a 15-part series right now about stop going to jail. But we have to talk about this young man's trauma. It's a reason why this young man has a gun. He either seen his mother being abused, he either heard of his sister being abused, he either seen his homeboy, he trying to be loyal to his homeboy, he know they got some street problems. Figure out the root of the problem. That's what Jeremiah was talking about. We have to go into the roots and dig up and then recreate. What is the root of the problem? Everybody talking about put the guns down, put the guns down, put the gun down. He might need that. Like you never, it might be a life or death situation where he might need that. Ain't nobody gonna tell you to put your strap down. What we have to do is speak out of love. Get to the root of the problem. Yes, they have weapons because it's not illegal. Why do they have the weapons? Explain to them weapons are for protection. What are you fighting against? I'm tired of hearing people say put the guns down when it's in the U.S. Constitution. It's our amendment. Honestly, you know, the times we're going in, we might want to have, I ain't giving up. I'm just saying, to be real with y'all, we might want to go ahead and get that and get licensed to get that because it's meant for our protection. It's meant for hunting. It's a skill. No, it should be not done carelessly. It's being done carelessly because there is other deep-rooted problems that nobody is listening to, nobody don't care about. Yes, they have weapons. You can't tell them to put them down. You have to get to the root of the problem, and they're not going to listen to everybody. Because whether you're going to say it or not, some of the reason they have the weapons is probably because of some stuff that you've been doing in your own household. Again, you never know if your son is trying to protect you from men because he might feel a certain type of way, but you won't know that because you won't sit down and talk to him because you feel like he's just a little boy or he just my son. You have to figure out why your son is carrying a weapon. I see a lot of depression. It's a lot of depression in the YNs. They're not going to tell you. The first thing we can do is be like, man, just go to therapy. They feel like the therapists don't understand because some of the therapists never went through what they went through. I feel like the pastors don't be keeping it raw enough. Like y'all to get up there and be like, you know, I went through this, I went through that. If we're not telling somebody what we've been through, like we've been through the trenches for real, there's no understanding. We don't understand each other. First of all, we're not trying to understand. We're trying to clout chase. We're using, it's a lot of sacrificing going on. Like everybody that do a sacrifice on their child, they do not have to be going up to no altar. You sacrificing your child is just having that child and, you know, making that child feel responsible for being the man figure in your household because the dad is not there. That's a sacrifice in itself. Now your son is going to go pick up a weapon because he feel like, man, I got to protect my mom. I got to protect my family. Some people be sacrificing their children, period. Depression is at an all-time high. I've seen a lot of young men, they're saddened. And when we do have these run and cut conversations, it's always some mother stuff. Like the YNs I talk to, it's always some mother stuff. The YNs I'm cool with, it's always some mother stuff. Then they get into a relationship still depressed and they attract the women like their mother. I be telling y'all, we got to work on that channel about don't date women like your mother. If that lady wasn't a good mother, she shouldn't be a role model as a woman. At the end of the day, while we be playing in the YN face, they know what a real woman is for real. They know what it should look like. They know what love should feel like. And then we'll be talking about searching for love in all the wrong places. Yes, we are. Yes, they are. Because what is the right place? We've never seen it. Depression is at an all-time high with the YNs. Family is at an all-time high. The family was the first people to disrespect this man, disregard this man, play in this man's face, act like he was listening because he probably wasn't popping, because he probably had no fine shit, because he wasn't getting no money and all of the things. That family was the first that corrupted this young man and turned him to a YN. You sitting up here, your son telling you, man, Ma, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like I'm going through a lot. You feel me? Like, I'm just trying to get my money up. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to date this girl or whatever. I just want to be a man. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a gentleman. I want to be a husband. And your family is telling you, what? Man, if you don't go with that shit, bro, we ain't even doing that. We don't even talk like that. You feel me? Like, we black. We don't even be on no shit like that. You talking about therapy and some more shit, man. If you don't go, you better, look, you a virgin and all that shit. You need to get your, the family, the family, the family, the family, the family, the family. I'm not the first content creator coming out talking about family. I'm so glad that the Lord is covering us in his blood under the shadow of the Almighty. When we are walking away from our families, some people are literally coming up against their families, exposing them. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not here with it. If it's delusion, it's delusion. Even when I was talking to a couple of young men and they had like wild family problems, I still wasn't telling him like, man, your mama, like your mama pop. I would let that young man speak about his problems, and I would just give him like the advice about it or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just to walk away. And again, it's easier said than live. Like, they not finna just walk away just simply because this is their family, and they got a lot of enablers too. And there's a lot of delusion. And I'm thinking about that one podcast we dropped. Intimidation. Thank you, Lord. So there's a lot of intimidation within the family to why this young man is stagnant, or why he feel like he got to be out here with the blick all the time and taking people's lives. That family. What's in the family? What's in the generational curses? There could be murder in his blood. That could be a trait running from his father's side that nobody even know about. The DNA side of it all. Like, that's how powerful this is. This, the sexual experiences and having children, it goes deeper than we think. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. This is spiritual warfare. The YNs out here, they're fighting demons. And they say all the time, we'll be saying like, man, I'm out here fighting demons. We be thinking it's not a game. They're literally fighting demons, and they don't know how to overcome them but to kill, steal, and destroy. And then the elders, or us as the elders, we're not setting a better example because we're enabling them in the family. Like, okay, so you just gonna let him do that to me? Like, really? People really be putting their kids up in mess. Instead of saying, son, you know what? I hear what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like maybe. And then when you're trying to tell your friends about their kids, you just can't be like, he ain't your real homeboy. Tell him. Y'all don't be explaining nothing. Oh my God, that's my son. Is he your son? Y'all not explaining nothing. Look, if you see something, say something. People would just be like, you know what? What? I thought I put this on Do Not Disturb. That's my alarm clock. Excuse me. People would just be like, let me pause it. I think I got some more alarms. Hold on. My bad. I'm gonna just add this video in. But people would just be like, what was I saying? See, that's why I be having my phone on Do Not Disturb and stuff. But I don't know why the alarm even came through. Why the alarm come through? So, family, sorry about that. That just was a whole distraction. Family be putting their children in things. The family is the reason why the YNs is YNs, period. Instead of you telling your son, like, again, I can understand if it's a life, if he already in something and it's a life or a death situation, it's a life-threatening situation to where maybe we ain't got time to talk right now, I got time to be gentle or whatever. I can understand that. But if your son comes to you or you see something different about your son, it's a different approach you have to have. It's about the way we be speaking. And I know that sounds cliche. Like, what you mean? Like, all of that. I'm telling you what I know as a child. Our family generation, our parents, they like to cover up. They're not gonna come out and tell us what they were going through, but we're expressing it even we're expressing it good or bad in a good or a bad way. So we might be coming out and saying, in our behavior, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Running away is a behavior problem. Why is she running away? What's going on? But some parents don't have the time or don't want the time to look into that, or some parents just straight up don't care. The family is enablers of a YN. If a young man comes to you and say he got a problem, the first thing somebody gonna do is say, well, just solve the problem then, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then the family will cover it up too. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, just call me. Just call me and we gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, my bro here, your uncle, he a judge, you know what I'm saying? Your cousin, he the police. So, the family is a big problem. The family being enabling, peer pressure. The YNs had went through peer pressure their whole life in school. Maybe he wasn't the most attractive. Maybe he wasn't the most athletic. And I'm not gonna lie, it's very dangerous to not have had a normal experience in school neither, or to not have possibly been like the popular kid or whatever, because a lot of these behaviors now is stemming from what people was not able to do back in the day neither. If you was somebody and you was considered like popular or whatever, I won't say I was considered popular, but I definitely was on the varsity cheerleading team, varsity boys football team. I would just say I was known, whatever. So now as an adult, I can see certain stuff and look certain ways and just be like, no, I'm straight, bro, or whatever. Somebody else that didn't have that experience probably to mess with the quarterback, or, you know what I'm saying, mess with certain so and so, somebody that was popping. Now as an adult, they're kind of like all over the place, trying to, lack of discipline with certain things. A lot of peer pressure came from our school life and our family, period. Especially the one where you weren't getting no play. Like, man, you weren't even getting no play. Like, man, you ain't never had no fine shit. Like, the friends and the family is creating the YNs. And then they get with these young females or even some older women that's trying to manipulate them. Because some older women that get with younger men, it's a manipulation tactic. It's because she probably ain't getting no pull with the older man. The older man don't even want her. She probably burnt out, literally burnt out. So she going to the younger kids, like I said, like the younger generation. Like I said, we got to start questioning, like, why? Because it's getting out of hand, and I feel like at some point, like if we is somebody talking to somebody that's younger, we got to put a cap on that, put an age on that, or it's gonna be some other stuff going on. Like, even when we see, like I said, I really like talk about people. Okay, like Sydney Starr, and I like Sydney Starr, but Sydney Starr was a transgender person, right? Still a human being. Just got in trouble about doing some pedo activity. Everybody will be laughing at that and be talking about, like, Saucy Santana look like he doing some other stuff right now. Ask yourself what happened to them as children. I asked the same thing about David. Like, everybody talking about, oh, David was back there, doing the flock, and he before he became king. What was them other brothers doing? What do the family be doing? What be happening in the household? Why was he the only one in it? Why was David the only one keeping the flock? Like, it be a lot of favoritism. It be a lot of stuff going on. It be a lot of, inappropriate behavior going on. And this is just going on generational, because it's been in a generation. Ain't nobody stopped and questioned nothing. Everybody just be going with the flow. When somebody wake up one day and something wild come out, it's because it's never been addressed. And it's not funny. It's not funny. Stuff like that can happen to anybody. You just got to start questioning certain stuff. We're in a spiritual battle. You have to start questioning stuff and going against the stuff so you don't get caught up in those stuff. Period. The family, the friends, the lifestyle, the peer pressure is creating the YNs. The way that we talk to them about, like, man, you ain't even getting no females. You need to get some females, bro. Like, you ain't even got all of that, creates the YN. And then you know how sometimes it'll be like, because I've had experience too where it'll be like, I don't know, it'll be fine shit. You will be like, oh, that's some fine shit, but why ain't nobody messing with him though? Like, sometimes the reason why it be some fine shit and ain't nobody messing with them, sometimes it be because that person is, preparing for marriage or whatever. So they really trying to stay out the way. Other times it could be because It could be because they do have some other problems that females have seen and they just rather stay away from it, but that still doesn't help. At the end of the day, everything that I'm saying is still going to be on that young man to do himself. We still can't go out here and think we can change them or nothing like that. We just have to be aware of what, when, why, and how the stuff is going on. And we have to watch our tone of voice on how we be talking too. You can't just keep telling people to put down the guns, stop laying with all these women, stop having all these kids. Why? Like, why should they stop? Give them a reason. Give them an explanation and ask them why are they doing it. And then it'd be hard to talk to your parents because the first time you say something, they want to go against you and they want to start arguing with you. Don't nobody be trying to do that. People be trying. When a kid or a young adult asks their parents some information at this time, it's because they're trying to get away from the delusion. But sometimes your parents want you to stay in it because it's their sacrifice. Little do you know. The environments create YNs. All of the hood activity, you know, and then the reason why some children or kids or young adults don't even want to be at home is the environment. Maybe it's a lot of dudes in and out. Maybe it's a whole bunch of partying. And even if that ain't going on, maybe it's a whole bunch of yelling. Excuse me, like when are parents gonna start saying that all of that yelling really did cause conflict? They'll swear up and down like, man, I was just trying to train them, not talking like that. If God talked to us the way we be talking to our children, we have to speak out of love. You have to understand that that child is a child. Or if it's a young adult, that's a young adult. The easiest way you're gonna get something, because I be around people and they be doing all that to their kids, like, oh, shut up. Shut up. Damn, y'all getting on my nerves. How? People be saying stuff to children that they don't even comprehend. A child don't understand shut up. You don't even know what that is. A child don't understand be quiet and get the fuck out of my face. They don't even know what that is. Some of y'all are just toxic, upset, and bitter. To be honest, some people mad that they had children in general. Some people don't like their children in general. Some people are upset that they are single and they couldn't get the man. And some of it is just about a man. So they're going to retaliate on their children with that hate because they can't give it to that man. I'm saying, if you talk to your dad, if you talk to your father, like your dad, like you had an absent dad, and you talk to your dad and you ask him, like, bro, like, why you went with my mama? You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happened with your relationship? I'm not trying to say it's acceptable behavior for no grown man to walk away, because it takes two to tango. Sometimes that, man, y'all, we have to understand that since the beginning of time, women have been the downfall of men. While we talking about it ain't no proof of that, ain't no book of that in Proverbs. We also want to go to Proverbs 31. What about Proverbs 30? Son of my womb, King Lemuel. Do not give I'm saying to her home. And I ain't got my Bible, but I'm just kind of like paraphrasing. She told him, son, don't give your power or your strength to these women. Period. That's your downfall. And the mother will be doing the complete opposite. She'll be like, well, son, just stay with her. Like, what? Since the beginning of time, just like with King Solomon, like everybody want multiple wives, man. King David had multiple wives. The Muslim, man, everybody got multiple. The reason why it's so dangerous to have multiple wives, multiple baby mamas, multiple girlfriends, and all the things is because they serve multiple gods. Because they have multiple spirits attached to them. And when you lay with her, you become one with her, whether you want to or not. And while we be out here talking about, man, he ain't even last that long, it still don't matter. He still hit, and you still one with him in general. So all of that they got going on is connected to you. That's just how the spirit realm works. And if you bring a child into that, then that child is mixed into all of that confusion. And if that woman is upset, this is in human anatomy. If that woman is upset and she are depressed and she, high blood pressure and all of the things, it goes directly to their child. This is how we get hereditary behavior. So if we think about it like that, her being pregnant and all of her emotions going directly into that child, then what about the man's seed? What about the man that planted the seed? He may have planted a YN by blood. Money, the reason why is YNs out here is because of money. Everybody pressing be a rapper. And I done seen it to where you will get the most support in being a rapper versus being a singer. Everybody be saying it. Half of all of the rappers be saying that they wanted to be in the church. Period. They all be like, man, I wanted to be in a church, or I started off in a church. Why would we start in a church and don't finish in a church? Because we don't be understanding church and church don't be understanding us, and people be sugarcoating the truth. A lot of people wanted to stay under the shadow of the Almighty. But because of a parent tried to live through their kid, try to control their kid, force their kid, the spirit of Jezebel, that woman that wants control and want to, all of that stuff, it all plays a part into the YN, period. The environment, the peer pressure, the money, the guns, the family, the money. If you see a young man, right, and he want to do like, maybe he want to be a construction worker, and maybe you one of them women and you like construction worker, boy, you know how long that's gonna take to do. If you don't go get this rap career, like, I feel like you can rap and make this money quick. And then they be dating women like that too. Like, well, you trying to go to work, you want to be a lawyer, but we need shit right now. You know who gonna get, Young Miami is a prime example, just period. That's another one that's destroying the young man. Like, it be women destroying young men because women are powerful. And little, if they want to say it or not, men do respect what we be saying. And they do try to live up, like, the whole thing, some of the life and some of the lifestyle is about impressing women. So women do have that soft spot. A lot of women have already connected with men on their emotional state. When a woman can get a man's emotion, she got him. It's a wrap. So, if I meet like a YN and he already like, and my phone died, child, it's all right. This series might be longer than I expected because, of course, the phone dying, different things like that. It's cool, but some of the women be, the women be endorsing the YNs too. Like, dang, so you mean to tell me we gotta wait until like 2 weeks to get paid or whatever when you can go hit the block right now? He's going to do it because his mom was doing the same thing. His mom was saying the same thing or making him feel the same way. So that's why I be saying, don't date women like your mother, especially if she like that. Instead of saying we love, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't wait 2 weeks. I can just cut that out. I can wait on getting my hair done or whatever. The family, the fine shit, the bad bitches, they be enabling the YNs to be YNs. The sexual activity, I'm finna see where we finna have to pause at here because it's looking like it's probably gonna go over the parts, but we gonna get the work out. Sexual activity, I'm not gonna lie, we be over sexualizing the YNs in general. We'll see some fine shit and just be it. Like, it's so much more to YNs than just sexual behavior and violence. They are very intelligent young men. Like, they like to be listened to. They like to teach. They love to be heard. They have emotions, but no, they're not about it. They have respectable boundaries. No, they're not about to be easily telling their business and stuff like that. Let me see if, so sexual activity, a lot of older people be using them too, as far as like their sex objects. Women are probably more like sexually, because our hormones and stuff, so we probably maybe want to mess around probably more than a man sometimes, but it get burnt out. I'm telling you, like, all the time they don't just want to be laying up and doing that. Period. They don't just want to keep on hearing like, oh, you just so fine, you just so fine, you just so fine, you just so fine, like. And then y'all know how back in the day we used to be like, well, I want to kill her, like, well, I want the. Now that they hear, everybody's scared. We used to be like, oh, I want the drug dealer, you know what I'm saying? Like, where the hood niggas at? Like, all of that. Now we got the YNs, now everybody's scared. We be creating these young men based on our behavior, based on the things we say, the way we present ourselves, the way we're trying to use and abuse their bodies and their emotions. Period. Communication, again, we need to just start listening and communicating. Like, the way that you're going to soften the heart of a YN is you have to speak to them out of love. This not no one time link up, I'm trying to feel the vibe. You can get a little information, you know what I'm saying? In a situation like that, dog ain't trying to do nothing but hit anyway. If you're really trying to soften the heart of a YN, you really have to build a bond and connection with them. They really got to trust you. They're not just about to open up and tell you no deepest, darkest secrets if they do not trust you. And what you have to understand is they know if you real the moment that they meet you. They know if their parents is real the moment that they start realizing what's going on. So no, it's not probably going to be easy for your son to just tell you stuff. Because he already see the type of woman that you is. You already slandering this man, telling the whole family his business. He told you as his mother. You already calling the baby mama playing sides and that. He told you as his mother. The mothers be going and playing so many sides and then be wondering why my son ain't rocking with me like that or why he don't like me, because you're enabling him to be a gangster. You want him to be just like your baby daddy. Instead of letting him be his own man and figuring his own life. Y'all want to be controlling. Eat the cake anime. Women are creating the YNs. Listening and asking questions. Like I said, at the point of you showing love and real love, intentional love, you're not finna go spread this man business and expose him on no back pages or nothing like that. When you speak with love, you're going to be able to then ask the deeply rooted questions. I'm able to ask the deeply rooted questions. Not because we always intimate, not because it is, because I'm speaking to him out of love. He know that I really care for real. Whether we together forever in the future or not, or just right now. People know when they're in the presence of somebody that's really trying to love. The only way you're going to be able to get information out of somebody is to love. And then what are you doing with the information? Are you going to go gossip and slander, or are you going to be praying about it too? The thing about me and my connections with the YNs, or when I had the YNs, or, you know, just whatever, I'm still praying for these men behind the scene. Like, to this day, I don't even like saying stuff like that. I don't even be liking to tell people like, oh, I fasted or whatever. I don't like that stuff. Sometimes it's sad, so... But yes, I still be praying for the YNs that I've entertained. Because at the end of the day, we don't got to be together forever. But when I was with you, I understood you. I'm going to pray for you, period. Because I know it was a whole lot of stuff going on. You can't be judging people and trying to help them at the same time. And they know who going to do that. You can't play in their face. They already know who going to do that. This is a generation of awareness. It's time out for the bull crap. Like, we know what's going on, especially younger generation. Communication and listening. Sometimes you just want somebody to listen. The reason why NBA Youngboy like Funny Marco, NBA Youngboy have been on plenty podcasts, and what he do? He get right up. This man said almost 2 hours and had a podcast with Funny Marco. Let me check the phone. The reason why he was able to do that is because he could tell Funny Marco, although he funny or whatever, typically Funny Marco whole thing was coming out and being like awkward, but he could tell at heart he a real when he trust him. NBA Youngboy trust Funny Marco. And then right after that, his mama come out, so I wasn't with you, and no, you ain't never been to South Korea a day in your life. It ain't right, Slime. It ain't right. Like, mamas be wanting to be so like, oh, so I ain't tell you no. And then we say it. And then when we said, now we the problem. Now it's a mental illness, because I can't believe. And now people want to beef with you. Like he said, you beef with, if you like he said, mind your business. Don't worry about all of that, because you need. Don't be worrying about or trying to defend somebody like, oh my God, I can't believe she said it about her mama. I can't believe that they ain't cool with their mama. That's their parent. Shh. You don't know. I think one of my siblings told me before that like we all in the same household, but we all, come on, Jesus, we all have different experiences. I think one of my siblings told me that we all lived in the same house, but we all had a different experience of that person. That's because we're all different human beings. Just like the Lord said in Romans chapter 12, we are all created from the same God. We're all created from the same body of Christ, but we're in different offices. Let him teach that as a teacher. Let him preach that as a preacher. You can be in the same house with siblings from the same two parents and have a different experience. If your child is coming out and telling you that they had a not so good experience, how are you going to tell them that they did? That's their output. That's their, that's their reality. And then it's the reality of wherever you think. But if somebody telling you something wrong, you can't tell them that it's right, just based on what you're saying. Trauma. The YNs have been through a lot of trauma. It's been a lot of traumatizing things going on. You talking about DL YNs. Why are they DL? Who was messing around with them when they were children? Over sexualizing them because they're so handsome, because he just looks so fine. And a lot of families be knowing some stuff too. They just don't be saying it because this is our family. We got to be loyal. We ain't gonna talk about it. Our men are literally out here crashing out because some stuff that everybody trying to cover up that they know about, that they not gonna come out exposed. But that's another reason why we're creating YNs, because a lot of cover-ups. We're going to talk about the DL stuff another day. We're going to talk about the homo stuff another day, because I could talk about that too. We're going to talk about that, but what happened? Something happened to that kid. Something happened to Saucy Santana. I'm not saying what they did is right. I'm saying something happened to Saucy Santana. Something happened to Sydney Starr. And now it's showing out in their behavior of messing with children. The attitude comes from all of that. The anger, the aggression, because you are forcing this man to wrath. You planting this man's face. You keep on telling him how you wish he was never born. You wish he would crash out. You wish. And now you wondering why he got a ski on. You wonder why he walking around your house mad. Because you thought this was your slave and not your child. Wash the dishes, clean up. When y'all be having kids, I don't understand why then they become your maid servants. Like, what make a person stop cleaning up and cooking in their own household because they got kids now? We weren't being taught from a place of, hey, I'm going to give you this skill because I know you're going to grow up and be a young lady. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a husband one day and a family. So this is why it's important for you to learn how to fold clothes. You know what I'm saying? So when your man is out hunting, that he can come back to a peaceful household and you'll be able to speak life into him. He'll be able to do that again. And y'all have good energy in the house. Y'all be teaching from a fact of clean my motherfucking house or you ain't going nowhere. We creating the YNs. We creating the trauma. People don't think that yelling creates trauma, but it does. Like I said, somebody else can be yelling at their kid and I just walk in the room, hi. And I have seen people kind of look, it's crazy work, but I have seen people kind of act like they was mad at me too. Like, I don't want your kid. That's your kid. Now I've experienced a lot. People be so mad, like, oh, I don't think nothing. It is what your kid know it is. The real, like, they ain't never seen nobody be nice to them. You always yelling at them. Child abuse. I just seen on Facebook a lady in another state got charged with child abuse or whatever. Like child neglect and all of that. Leaving your kids in a car. This is creating trauma. You don't think they remember. This is a soul thing. Everything is still connected. Leaving your kid in a car real quick to go grab something out the store. I can understand not having a babysitter and doing certain things. At the point of you having a child, they got to go everywhere with you that you go. You create a trauma leaving them in that car. You create a trauma smoking around them. You create a trauma fighting around them. You create a trauma arguing. You create a trauma having all these different men in here. You created the trauma talking about this man like his daddy. He don't even know this man. You comparing this man. You created trauma covering up because you're just trying to make sure the household good, but you're not paying attention to who's in the household with your child. You're the one that's just paying for babysitters just because. You the one not listening. You the one not paying attention. The family, the friends, the peer pressure, the girls, the fine shit, the bad bitches is creating the trauma of the YNs and they're crashing out. My phone is getting ready to die. I am going to go ahead and end this now at trauma and attitude. And then, well, actually, we already talked about the missing mothers and the present mothers and the missing fathers. But we're going to come back and we're going to finish up here. And we'll start with music. And then, excuse me, we'll just keep on going. Excuse me, because now when it turned to a series, I wasn't expecting it. I thought we was going to get on a couple videos. But when it started, scriptures and stuff started popping up, I said, oh, it's giving how to soften the hearts of the YN series. I love you. God bless you. And I will talk to you in part 2. Mwah.